Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. At one point, an ancient body of water existed here, perhaps a finger lake from a larger body of water. Can I be certain of this? No. However, this part of what is now the Great Basin Desert was covered in water or wetlands at the end of the last ice age, so there is a good possibility that this land looks this way from a time when there was plenty of water. There would have been groups of people tethered to these lakes and wetlands, its resources being their way of life. These vast wetlands and bodies of water didn't dry up overnight. It took thousands of years, and this area would have been home to those groups of people or cultures as long as that water remained. So join me as I head out into the desert to discover what once was. Well, this is a good sign. Once again, right where I pulled off and parked, I've got obsidian, all types of debitage here. I mean, there's just piles of lithic material. This is a good sign. So these 2 points here and above are probably good spots. There's probably stuff all up in there. We're gonna make our way up there. I think this lower area, and it looks like there's probably some type of arroyo cut, or I can see there's a creek bed right there. This might have all been like a finger lake or something thousands of years ago. As far as coming across artifacts, generally I don't really come across anything that spectacular. That's pretty rare. Usually broken points. However, in this area I've found points, yes, on the surface, and they were able to be identified with the help of some viewers, and those particular points from a culture is called the Western Stemmed Tradition. That's the culture, and it kind of runs parallel, if not overlapping, Clovis. So this, oh man, which it's old. That's we're talking 9, 10, 11, 12,000 years old, and it's hard to imagine. It's just incredible. I just start walking up, and as soon as I do, I'm in the material. And it's a little difficult with the angle of the sun to really see the ground pretty good. The sun needs to get up a little higher. Boy, I'm rambling this morning. Please forgive me from that, but my mind's spinning after coming back from Peru. Seeing some of the ruins and the stonework out there. Just, I don't know. Being out in the deserts in eastern Peru and seeing there are cultures out there that go back thousands of years that had huge temples, pyramids. Like I said, lots and lots of questions, and there's not very many answers out there. So the ground at this point, let me jump back to the present here, looking right in front of me, and the camera's probably not going to pick it out that well. It's covered in black specks. It's absolutely covered in lithic material. God bless. So we're going to go up on top here and kind of wander around. This is just... This goes on here for miles. Miles. I could go 4 miles in that direction and I'd still be on top of an area that is covered in lithic material. I know this because I've been exploring out here and doing this for a while now. So, yeah, I'm just baffled. Let me see if the camera's picking this up pretty good. I'm in the shade, but you can see how much all this black specks here, all of it. This is all flaked obsidian, and the ground is literally covered at the top here. I mean, covered everywhere. And there's another thing I need to point out, that the ground is always changing here. It's scoured by the winds, lots of wind out here. It's scoured. That pulls the surface away. Whenever the rains do come, it's not, sometimes it's just a light drizzle. Other times it's very violent. Lots of water, especially in the monsoon season, all at once. It just tears apart the desert, so it's all exposed. But this is all material, lithic material, all the black, it's obsidian. It's almost completely covered the ground in spots. Look at this. This is fascinating. And there's no pottery, none at all. Pre-ceramic. So what I'm walking on, this production house, once again, forgive me for lack of a better term, could have been happening in times that were pre-ceramic, maybe pre-agriculture. They're up high, they're not down in the lower spots, so up high is always good, but it might have been because down low it was covered in water. So this could have been a early archaic or paleo production site for obsidian tools. And like I said, this goes on for miles. Here's a nice piece right here. Look at this. Biface. This has been worked on both sides. Look at that. Biface. Been worked on both sides. So that's on the surface. Yeah. This gives you an idea. You can see how the elevation dips here. This whole area where I'm pointing at before it rises back up in the distance could have been a very large lake body of water, and more than likely it was. I'm highly doubtful that I would find any spectacular artifacts in all this debris. Those artifacts are somewhere else in the desert. Here's a good example of just how deep that debitage probably goes. What I'm looking at in front of me, of course, is the path of, this is a drainage. When it rains, this is where water flows down. So all up over here goes up to the top of the hill, which is covered in the lithic material. Same in this way. It's all up on the top. And then down here, as the water's cut down, as you can see, it's cut down quite a ways. But you can see there's big chunks of obsidian still sticking out. You come over here, it's everywhere. The whole island here is glowing with lithic material, so you can see how much higher up it goes. So this whole area is covered in material that goes down feet, not inches, but feet. And it's still on the surface, and it's just deeper and deeper. That's the scale of what was going on up here. Industrial. There's no other word I can think of that would describe just the amount out here. It's just industrial. It's not just a piece washing down here and there. This is all covered. Underneath it, on top, just piles of it. When I got out of the truck this morning, it was like in the mid 50s, and it's going to be 90 degrees out here today. Bit of a temperature shift, huh? We're mid-morning now, and it's starting to heat up. So we got a few more hours for our window of comfort changes. These are some cool critters. Look at that. Gotta make sure my dog doesn't see this guy. Awesome, huh? Yeah. Very cool. So the first time I was out in this general area, I thought the obsidian was being quarried somewhere and brought to this area, and it may have well been, but I still find in certain spots, like here's a nodule. This is an obsidian nodule. If you were to crack that in half, it'd be shiny on the inside, presumably. I'm not going to do it, but I find these a lot in the area too, so that might be why this place, like here's another, there we go. Look at these obsidian nodules here. There's another one. They're just there. That might have been smack there, but that's a big old obsidian nodule. I think it's just occurring naturally in this area, so, you know, they didn't have to go far to get their material. It was just here. And that's why, for example, down below is the drainage, and then up above and perhaps up here, I haven't been up here yet, is just, all you had to do is walk down the hill and pull the nodules out of the ground, and you got all the material you need for your tools. Yeah. So I've walked up out of that drainage. The sides of this hill were covered in lithic material, and then I'm up on this almost level spot here, and once again we're back into just covered in lithic material. Everything black, and camera's probably not picking it up so great, but it's just covered. Down the creek bed, all the way up the sides, up to the top, on either side, covered in lithic material. Okay, just came across a very interesting piece. This is about as great a piece as I'm probably going to find today. I'm going to take the other camera to get a close up, but it's a biface. It's been worked on both sides, and it's pretty slim. So let's go down and take a closer look. It looks like the tip has been broken off. Yeah, you can see, hang on there, we'll get some focus in, how well that has been worked. Now obviously the side near my fingertips, that side has been broken, and it looks like both sides have been broken, to be honest with you. I'm going to flip that over to get a better idea. See, it's a biface. It's been worked on both sides. I wonder how big that might have been. So this is a really cool artifact here. Would have been nice to find it intact. However, as I say, 95% of the time, maybe 98% of the time, this is what I find. Broken pieces. Well, I just came across a really interesting obsidian piece here. Well, this was obviously made. What's really interesting is look at that, how it's been notched out right there. What do you suppose that was? You can see where it's been worked there on the edges. That's really interesting. I wonder what I'm looking at here. That was made, you can see the tip there. You can see how that tip's been, it looks like there's wear on the tip. Bottom's flat, obviously manufactured like that. Oh, every time. How cool. Ooh, I think I got a point right here. Oh yeah, we're going in for a close-up of this. Okay, looks like I got a good point here. Let's kneel down and have a look. Wow, it's gravelly. As you can see, there's lithic material all around it, but here's the point right there, just exposed on the surface. Let's have a look at that. Oh yeah, nice. Look at that detail. It's been worked on the back a little bit. Look at that. Unfortunately, it broke, so you can get an idea of perhaps how large that probably was. Yeah, they weren't hunting ducks with that. That's pretty big. So knife blade, spear point, something along that line. But still got a bit of an edge to it. Yes, nice indeed. All right, that's excellent. Very nice. We'll just put that back where we found it. All right, so I'm at the summit of the hill that I climbed. You can see this is it, and I want to show you something that is significant. So I'm at the summit. It's the highest point of the hill, all the way down, sloping down, and right here at the summit is an absolute pile of lithic material. Look at this. All that's flake obsidian. Look at it all. Piles of it. It's like it was done yesterday, but in actuality, this has been exposed from the elements. Absolute pile. This is incredible. So, someone or some people sat up at the summit of this hill, made tools. Piles, it's covered. This is extraordinary. Okay, we're approaching midday. The heat's coming in. We're gonna make our way back down to the truck. All right, down from the hill. The truck is just right there. It's a fantastic day, successful. Found lots of stuff. I mean, evidence of quite the human activity, I should say. What I do see is that there was a lot of people and a lot of work involved. I mean, it's literally an entire hill of lithic debris, of obsidian, and it's everywhere. In every direction. So something was going on here. Mass tool production. Yeah, who knows? Lots of questions. Not sure of the answers. But there you have it. Another day on the desert. Glad to be back. And lots more content on the way. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is free. Helps the channel tremendously. And we'll see you next time, folks. D-Rock out. Adios.